You guys break for a week?
We had some good work. I think the kids worked hard, and it'll be interesting to see what these 6 days do. I think you watch the the bowl games for the most part up to this point. I think it's hard on those. I think it's hard on the offenses. I think they lose a lot of rhythm and timing, and so we get back down to Arizona. We got to somehow figure out how to create that so we're not too far in the hole.
You've had we talked quite a bit right after the Apple Cup, but getting that run game going has been kind of up and down all season. But I mean, you feel good, I guess, going into the bowl game at this point where you're at with that.
I think our run game has been pretty solid. Like our pass game needs to take the next step, and we'll see about that. But I think if we can take the next step with our pass game and continue to run the ball, but I think that Oklahoma State's got a pretty formidable front seven. I think they do a good job, move around a lot, and so it'll be a big challenge.
What do you do to create that rhythm that you're talking about?
Well, I don't know. It's hard. I think you try to get as much, maybe close to live stuff. We've done a few things there. Now we got this break off, and then we come back getting ready to the game. But I know one thing we have to do is practice really, really fast to give us a chance. If it's 3 quarters and our mind isn't right, we'll struggle.
So as the players go home for their break here, what's kind of your plan and the coaching staff over the next week?
Well, I think everybody's the same. I mean, I think we take these days to get rested up. That game's certainly in the back of our mind, if not in the middle of our mind. And but I think it's important to catch our breath, and then when we come down to Arizona to really be ready to roll.
Is that going to be different for you, being able to kind of step back for a few days this time of year?
Yeah, usually it's been a little bit different. We've never had one where we've given this much time off, but it is what it is. It's just the way the schedule falls, and these guys need time off and need to get rested and ready to go.
Any special holiday plans for you?
No, just some time off to get a little bit of Christmas shopping done. Yeah, it's the first time in a long time I actually do some real Christmas shopping, so it'll be good. Yeah.
How's the health so far? I know you were hoping to maybe get a guy like a Jermaine Kelly back or some of those guys.
Yep. I think our health is good. I think Jermaine has made strides. Not ready to rock and roll full speed, but he's a lot closer than he was certainly 2 weeks ago. And everybody else at this point, is good that has been going. It wasn't out for the season. But sometimes we get sprained ankles crossing the street. So we'll see what happens these 6 days.
I feel like we should ask about Ben Rebo. We've been asking about it almost every week all year.
So Ben's been practicing. He's out there. He does have a role. At this point, it is what it is. But he's, I think he's as healthy as he's been.
You guys signed Ezekiel Turner last week.
Yeah.
What kind of player is he? What do you like about him?
Yeah, very aggressive player. He's a young player too. He's a really good student. He's a guy that has more than just your 2 to 3 years, and so we're really, really excited about him. And we really think he fits our model, our profile, in terms of the type of guy we're looking for. He's like I said, a good student. Really like his vibe, and the thing that attracted us to him in the first place was his tape. Runs around, flies around, aggressive football player.
You don't see a lot of JC guys who are able to go D1 after 1 year.
Yeah.
And obviously, the qualification thing is usually why. That's not the case with him. But what did you see about him in his 1 year at JC that made him kind of stand out to you, and when did you get onto him?
Well, I'm not exactly sure when. It was probably over a month and a half, maybe 2. We started looking at guys and trying to put the puzzle together, what we need. And I think the first and foremost was the tape itself. And then when we found out that he, had, more than just 2 years, that was attractive. That he was a really good student. When we do the whole, you do all your homework, you kind of put this together. There's a lot of good players out there that aren't going to really necessarily fit what we're all about here. But we feel great about him fitting the whole puzzle.
And he's one guy. He's getting into role in January, right?
He will.
He's all set.
Yep, he'll be back.
You talked about that puzzle.
Yeah.
What precipitated maybe going after a JUCO guy at that particular position, given that you have a lot of young guys coming up there as well?
Again, he's not necessarily a junior college guy, although we were just looking for, to create some more competition back there. He's a bigger framed guy. I mean, all those things. And then we just think he's a good player that fit all the things that we're all about. And so we're really excited to see him come in here and compete.
So he could be maybe not even just a defensive back, but he could maybe even move up if you get him a little bigger, faster, stronger.
No, I think he's going to be a secondary guy.
Okay.
He's definitely a secondary guy. That's where his home will be.
How important was that size? I mean, it looks like you like size of that position with Kevin King back there.
Yep. I think, size and speed is always a bonus. I mean, we're first and foremost all about football players, and I think, I think we've always been a crew that will take maybe an undersized guy if he's a football player, and then if they have a little size to go with it, again, that's icing on the cake.
How much are you able to pay attention Friday night to Folsom and Jake Browning in the state championship game?
They got a heck of a squad,
Yeah.
is what I think about Folsom, and I think a lot of other people would say that. I mean, I think that's the thing that jumps out. I mean, we've been following Jake forever, so we know what he's all about. But I think the thing that's really impressive about that team is, man, how good they are. I mean, they're really well coached, and they got a lot of good players, and that combination has just been impressive.
And obviously, cap off his high school career with that. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. But
yeah,
you've talked quite a bit about Jake after he signed and all that.
Yeah.
But he's obviously coming in January too. That's a little bit different. I mean, do you have a plan in place for him and a guy at that position to kind of get him acclimated?
Well, I just
and all
think
that going into spring, I guess.
Yeah, I just think the guys that come in early are just going to get a tremendous opportunity to compete from the get-go, whether it's an O-lineman, whether it's a DB, whether it's a quarterback. I mean, that's what we want to do, and play our best guys. And so to get them here in the wintertime and then all through spring ball, and they'll be here summer, I mean, it just gives those guys a really, really big, true, advantage to compete for something for real in the fall. Hey, not that we won't play a guy that comes in the summertime with us and play, and we got 6, 7 guys that are doing that now. But it really helps those kids, certainly at certain positions, have a legitimate chance to compete.
With guys like him, I mean, he's putting up video game type numbers. With the
Yeah.
fans, you have to kind of temper expectations a little bit with a young guy like that.
I think so. I mean, those are unbelievable numbers. I mean, they've never been done.
Yeah.
And so, different game. Speed of the game, young guy. I mean, I think you can set people up for big time failure if you put the cart before the horse. We know he's going to be a good player and all those type of things, but we need to keep this thing in perspective and take one day at a time. We really do.
This recruiting class in general, as you wrap it up over these final 6 weeks or so here, is there going to be one emphasis that you really wanted to get done, and do you see a major difference between this class and maybe the last couple you put together?
Well, I don't think our approach really changes. We're just really looking for, really, really good players that we think are really good kids that are into getting a world-class education. And, we're just really excited about these guys because we think they fit our profile to a T. And we're excited to coach them. But we're first excited to sign them in a month and a half from now. So we still got a lot of work to do.
Has it always been part of your philosophy? I mean, that with the OKG, but it seems like a residual part of that is that once they do make a commitment, they don't waver on it. You don't really have to maintain them. Is that always been kind of a strength of the guys that you eventually sign?
I think the one thing that we've always really tried to do is not put pressure on these kids, and we don't want them to commit to us until they feel like this is really home and this is where they want to be and it's in their heart and in their blood. And that's that's how we've always been, and I don't think we've had a bunch of flip-flopping because of that. I don't want to be a high-pressure recruiter. I mean, we feel real strongly in this place and what we're doing, but I think these kids and their families need to make a real educated decision and take time to digest everything. And I think when they do that, I think that helps us. I think we have something special here, and I think those guys feel that, and we're excited for these kids.
One last question about Kelly. Do you anticipate him being able to play?
Jermaine?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll still see. He's still a little hobbled, and but he's out there practicing and he's going and all those things. He's not
right.
full speed yet. Yeah. So, good.
Thanks.